Yo, what's up, lads? We're going to talk about saturation today. When to know if a business is saturated. Maybe you're running some kind of business. There's a whole bunch of competitors coming in. Maybe you bought a business opportunity course and there's a whole bunch of people who also bought the business opportunity course. You're not sure if you should keep going with the business. So I'm going to tell you exactly how when to identify this, how to shield yourself from saturation, and how to make sure you make maximum amount of money in minimum time. But first, you should subscribe. You should like the video. And if you're a marketing agency or B2B business and you want to add an additional 10 to 50K per month in profit, go to clientessentials.com. I have proof of that. If you go to the page and you opt in, it's all on the next page after that. But let me go into this. Saturation does not exist. What does get saturated is copying a marketing channel, offer structure, and pitch scripts. That can be saturated, right? So a service can never be saturated. So what happens with you guys when you're thinking of something as saturated, you're labeling the saturation on the mechanism. So for instance, Facebook ads are saturated or short form content is saturated. Nothing is actually saturated if you're good at it, right? Now, I've talked about this in this channel before. I'm going to link a video to it in the description, but all that's really happening here is the market is becoming more sophisticated. And what I mean by that is they're getting exposed to more claims, right? And more angles. So they simply become aware of more angles. So you guys can pitch, hey, I'll do your email marketing or I'll do your short form content. But the problem with this is you're relying on the mechanism to do the marketing as opposed to actually giving a sales proposition. So what gets saturated is using a mechanism as your marketing angle and not positioning yourself as the gap between a current state and an end state. And I'm going to get into that in a minute and try to make you understand what I'm talking about, right? So let me give you, for instance, and you tell me which of these you think will win. I'll edit your short form content videos, or I'll get you 3 to 10 new clients per month passively with my organic content operation system. What do you think is going to work? Very clearly, it's the second one. So whatever that organic content operation system entails is up to you. But the point is you've packaged it up into a system and related it to an end goal. Now, you should go watch my offer formulation video. I'm going to link that in the description as well. But all you need to do now, at this point, is slap some social proof on it, and you have a value proposition. You could legitimately not put short form content absolutely anywhere on the page. Exclusively talk about results. Show evidence that you've driven results, and you're going to be making a shit ton more money than relying on the mechanism. You're not selling short form content. You're selling more clients. You're not selling Google ads. You're selling more sales. Like, this is what you have to understand. Remove the mechanism. Do not rely entirely on the mechanism, because mechanisms get saturated. So if you have any goal to run a profitable, good company for an extended period of time, you need to be thinking about this on an extremely long time horizon, right? Now, what you can do is, if you were to take this market sophistication thing, where it gets incrementally harder and harder and harder to sign more clients as more competition comes in, at the very end of the sophistication cycle, people buy exclusively off of results and off of because of the fact it's you. So if you walk into any business, you're doing any kind of thing, just single-handedly saturate the entire thing. Like, take it straight to the end of the sophistication cycle. Like, there's no reason to just dilly-dally around on the front, or it's like you're relying on the mechanism. Just don't do that. Just go straight to the end. Like, I get results, here's proof. So, I want to show this to you. This is all business. Like, this is every single product or service on the face of the planet. Like, actually. Current state and end state, and the gap is what you're selling. So that's how everything needs to be positioned. All you're doing is bridging gaps. Now, when you're saying things like, I'll edit your short form content videos, You're not presenting a gap. You're not explaining to people how precisely exactly it is. You don't even know what the current state is or what the end state is. Right? You're just saying I'll edit your video. Nobody cares. All they care is about going from here to here. Right? So let's talk about shielding yourself from saturation. There's 4 ways to do this. And the first is claims. Promising specific end states and positioning yourself as the gateway. So like an actual sales proposition where it's like, hey, I'll help you. This organic content marketing system will sign you 3 to 10 clients per month. Right? So current state, not signing 3 to 10 clients per month. End state, signing 3 to 10 clients per month passively. Like you see the gap. You're selling the gap. Now proof. Proving that you have done it before. So if we were to talk about claims, people will buy off of claims and promises and guarantees. But the more sophisticated a buyer, the more logical they are, the more proof is required of them. So this is most humans on the planet, right? Because when you're trying to sell services to people who make a lot of money, they are people of significance. And people of significance only buy from people with significant results. Do you see what I mean? They want proof. Because people who make a lot of money and people who are running very serious businesses are not interested in getting refunds. They don't want refunds. They want the result. They just want it to work for the price you agreed upon, and probably even more than the price you agreed upon. It's sophisticated buyers, people who make a lot of money, would be more interested in paying $10,000 per month to somebody who has driven extreme results, a lot of proof, than paying $1,000 for some VA. Like they just want proof. They want competitive advantages. Like they just want to know, they want to be certain you just know how to do it because they want the result. They don't want a refund. Right? I'm going to talk about this in a future video about getting your first client and then developing this proof. So subscribe if you want to see that. It's extremely important. Now the third thing here is competency. And this is displaying through social media content that you know what you're talking about through guides, tutorials, and walkthroughs. Right? So right here, when you make a claim, you hit some percent of the population. When you show proof, you hit an even higher percent of the population. When you show competency, you hit an even higher percent of the population. So in order, you're expanding out who you're hitting with your marketing, right? So some people will buy just off the claim. Like, oh, this guy says he can do this. All right, like, screw it. Let's just go. Like, he says he could do it. Like, let's just try it. The next kind of person will want proof you've been able to do it. The next kind of person will not only want proof you know how to do it, but will want to see that you understand micro nuance between it. They want to sit and watch you display and show that you know these micro intricacies of making things work particularly well. So like in the case, I don't know, like you're a YouTube guy or some stuff like that, and you make some guide or something like that where it's like, I've worked with this many people, and the number one thing that's driven the best results possible was formulating a hook that gets people to stay on the video. And then like you make a guide about like examples of hooks you made. So this is displaying competency. You see what I mean? That's how that's working. Now, consistency is the sustained exposure of talking about this, and this across people who are not ready at this exact moment. So you hit a portion of the population here. You hit another portion of the population here. You hit another portion of the population here, and then you hit another portion of the population here in terms of time frame, because not everybody is ready to purchase right now. So you're hitting the maximum amount of people who could conceivably buy through these three, and then you're taking that set of people who would otherwise buy and extending out the time horizon to hit their conversion windows. Not everybody buys right now. This is something that you have to understand. Like, people just don't buy off the bat. It doesn't work like that. Stuff is going on in their life, right? This is what this does. And what I mean by sustained exposure is you're thinking like, oh, I just got to do it for like a couple weeks. No, my guy. You need to do this for months and years. The problem with a lot of you guys is you're measuring things in like days and weeks because your subjective experience of the world and consciousness is calculated through minutes and hours. When the only way that you can measure success and results through any form of business or any form of long-term venture is through absolute minimum quarters, like 90 days. It's the only way. You need, whatever you're doing, you need to stay with it for a long time. Like, you just, like, so many people just don't functionally understand this. Like, it takes so long. It takes so long. So, now, here's what happens with you guys. You find some trend or news service. Maybe you make a little bit of money with it. Then 3 months, another thing pops up. You switch over to that. Then you cap at like $5K a month. And you're never able to break that because you have ADHD and simply cannot stick with one singular thing. If all you do is take a business to $5K a month and then switch to another business and then take that to $5K a month and then switch to another business and take that to $5K a month, you are only the person capable of taking something to $5K a month. And now you might be thinking, oh, I can just run a portfolio of companies that are all individually at $5K a month. That does not work the way you think it does. Like, that does not happen. If you never sit down and decide, I'm going to singularly take this one offer, this one thing to $50K a month, nothing you ever do ever in the entirety of your life will reach $50K a month. You can't run 10 of these. You can't. It's functionally impossible. So, if some new trend pops up, just integrate it into the thing you already have. Right? If you want to sell a new client acquisition system, then sell it alongside your thing or upsell it to clients. Don't like quit your business. So it's not because the market is saturated that you're not getting results. It's that you business model hop every 3 months, not realizing it takes a minimum of 6 months in one singular business to see actually anything happen. When you're doing this, you build up zero brand awareness behind any one movement. So every 6 months, you're destroying any semblance of compounding you've developed ever. Stop switching business models and complaining that you make no money. You have to do this. This is all you do. I'm going to expand on this in my next video. So like, subscribe. If you want this document, there will be a link to it inside the description. And if you're a marketing agency or B2B business, you want help building a client acquisition system, we will help you scale an additional 10K